Occupation in place, Kearny worked to establish a provisional government. One of his first duties was to meet with a delegation of Pueblo Indians. Centuries earlier, the Pueblos had greeted the arrival of the Spanish with curiosity and hospitality.
And when the Americans came, I think the whites, as opposed to the Spanish Mexicans, I think that there was a different relationship, because the relationship between the Mexican and the native people was already tinged by a lot of atrocities and wars and greed, if you may. And by the time that I think the Americans came, there was a lot of mistrust, and rightly so.
Lieutenant William Emery knew that the Pueblos had more than once risen in revolt against the Spanish and Mexican authorities.
300 years of oppression and injustice have failed to extinguish in this race the recollection that they were once the peaceable and inoffensive masters of the country. They are our fast friends now and forever.
The lieutenant did not know that before long his fellow Americans would be seen as the oppressors, and that bloodshed would follow. Near the end of September 1846, Kearny marched for California with a company of dragoons and Lieutenant Emery's survey party. Before leaving, he appointed Charles Bent as the new territorial governor of New Mexico. The decision angered many New Mexicans.
Many people who had been there for a long time, whose family was very, very influential, believed that even though they might not have welcomed the Americans with open arms, that they would have a place in the new regime. They do not get that place, and they're very resentful of it. At the same time, there are many people who are proud of their Hispanic heritage, and they see Americans as relatively uncultured people who were coming in and who were occupying their land.
Resistance to the new government spread. In Taos, on the cold night of January 19, 1847, Charles Bent was at home with his family. Suddenly, New Mexican and Pueblo Indian rebels kicked in the door. Certain that he was loved by the people of his adopted hometown, Bent tried to calm the intruders. His daughter Teresina was 5 years old at the time. Later, she recalled what happened that night.
Father told them, "What wrong have I done to you? When you come to me for help, I always helped you and your families." "Yes, you did, but you have to die now so that no American is going to govern us." And then they commenced to shoot with the arrows and guns.
The men threw the mortally wounded Bent to the floor and scalped him alive. The revolt spread quickly throughout the region. Rebels set fire to stores and homes. U.S. citizens and those thought to be sympathizers were tortured and killed. Padre Antonio Jose Martinez, a popular priest and educator, opened his home to terrified families seeking refuge from the violence. Martinez called for an end to the bloodshed, but the revolt would claim the lives of many more.